Everybody could join me in saluting the flag of our great nation.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A moment of silence for our troops, their families, all our first responders, and everybody that's dealing with this pandemic. Thank you. Okay, we're going to workshop. I have a couple things for workshop. The first thing I want to talk about is the first aid building is up for sale, and I wanted to bring it up to the council members. The building's been used for public safety for all different things. When we had storms and training and water rescue was there, first aid was there. And since we have most of our volunteers that work for the first aid coming back with us, we were thinking about trying to negotiate to buy the building from the first aid. I think that, with everything that went on with the training and the lifeguards and all the summer help that we have and the training that everybody has to go through, that upstairs room was used for a lot of different things for the CPR training. And I want to know how the rest of the council feels about if we move forward to try to negotiate to buy that building. So if anybody has any objections to it, or do you think it's a good idea? I've talked to the police chief and our fire administrator and to all our professionals, and even to build a building like that on borough property somewhere would cost us a lot of money. So, we're thinking about trying to negotiate to get that building. So does anybody have any objections to doing that? Or
I don't have an objection. I have some questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do we know how much they're looking to get for it?
Well, moving forward, we'll probably have an appraisal done. They're looking for basically the highest bidder. I'm sure it'll be developers looking at the property. We'll weigh it out to see, what we think we can get the building for and the property for. We'll instruct our borough attorney to do some negotiating, and hopefully the members, I guess the members would vote on the price and what we're going to do with it. But I think the whole piece of property is still a valuable piece of property for our public safety concerns in the borough. So, but I also wanted to hear from what the council members and what they thought of to, see if we go forward. I mean, it's going to be a negotiation process to see what we can get it for.
Mark, have they listed it for sale at all? Like, is there a price?
They listed it. They're accepting bids, and there's a bid schedule to file, a bid. And I think it's a pretty tight schedule. So I think they're looking for bids in June. That's why I wanted to bring it up tonight to, see what the other council members think.
Mark, I have a question.
Yes, Councilwoman Wong.
What would happen if we were to purchase this, the other firehouses? Would we then be able to combine them? Because this is a big piece of property.
Well, it's a possibility. We would have to talk to, some of the fire departments, and, that's down the road after it was purchased, if they wanted to use it. One of the things is that we're looking at is the 3rd Avenue garage is really starting to get a lot of equipment in there. And as we go along and the lifeguards have more equipment, we're starting to look at, storing the lifeguard equipment there and some of the beach things that we have down there. It would be nice if it was big enough to store all of our 3rd Avenue garage equipment, and then we could sell off that property because there'd probably be a wash. But so the first thing is we have to decide whether we think that it's still a valuable piece of property for public service, for public safety. I've done a lot of training on the second floor of that building as a police officer over the 25 years. So the police would use it, lifeguards for all their CPR and all their certifications that they need classroom training on. They would use it. The fire departments could use it for a lot of their in-service training. And so when we started to think about it and you look at the size of the building and you go, if you went to go build a building like that somewhere on borough property, it would probably cost you about the same amount of money as buying it. So I wanted to bring it up tonight because the schedule is pretty tight. And if we are going to contemplate on negotiating for it, we probably have a time limit to do that.
Mr. Mayor, the only question I have is, I guess it's basically, can we afford it? I mean, is it something that would impact the taxpayers directly, or is it something we can find the money for, depending on the price?
Well, I'm sure that it would have to be a bond to go out. Yeah, I mean, and I don't want to get, the last thing I want to do is get us into more debt, but the problem is this building is before us now. So, if it gets knocked down and sold to the developer and house is built, we would never have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
So it would probably, even though we're trying to work our debt down, this is presenting itself now, and we probably have to do a long-term bond to purchase it.
Mm-hmm.
But my opinion would be, it would only be the cost of an appraisal to figure out how much it is, right, before we decide how, I think you start the process, right? If we find out it's too expensive or it's prohibitive, then we don't need to go through with it.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think we start the process and we direct our attorney to, get involved in the bidding process and see where we end up and come up with a number that we think we're pretty comfortable with.
Is it possible that we could get I know the first aid squad has some debt. Would it be possible for them, as part of those negotiations, to ask them to consider, if their debt were able to be relieved, and maybe that's already done through the purchase of some of the equipment that we already purchased for them? I understand they donated some other equipment to other departments out of the area, to ask them to donate that back to the borough.
Well, probably we were beyond that because they already advertised it in the paper that they're accepting bids. So, of course, we could ask. I don't know if the members have to take a vote on, who would be purchasing it. One of the things that was relayed to us through a letter was that whatever money left over that they received, they're going to donate throughout the town on different things. So whatever money that they're getting is supposed to go, from what they told us, is to go back to different organizations in the town. But the thing is that we have before us, do we look to go and try to buy it, or do we just let it go to a developer? So, I mean, we could start the process and start to work that way, and we could ask them if, whether it's a reduced price or, or they would donate after we picked up the debt. That's all part of the process that we will go through.
Yeah, I guess my opinion is it certainly doesn't hurt to look into it. I mean, public safety, we want to make sure that, we have top services for fire rescue, water rescue, all of the services that our residents, reliable services that our residents have come to expect over the years. I am obviously concerned about taxes and any rate increase or impact that this would have. But, if we could consolidate some services there and maybe work with the other entities to sell off some other borough properties to offset the cost, that may be viable solution also, but, you know, I don't think it hurts to look into it.
I feel the same way, honestly. I think depending on the price, I think if we can figure out a way to keep it affordable, I think most Belmar residents would really like to see that site kept as the home of our first aid services. I really think that's the community feeling.
Council President Juan, you in agreement?
Absolutely. There's gotta be a way to look into it, and like Tom said, there may be some way to offset some of this. The property, Third Avenue property certainly is worth it. Could always be a wash. So I think it's worth looking into, yes, definitely.
Okay. So we'll tell Mr. Dasty to continue trying to negotiate with, to see if we can purchase it. All right. Couple things we have on for tonight. The water rate changes. Last year when we did reset the water rates because of all the issues that we had in the water department, we reevaluated it again this year, which we said we were going to do. And one of the big things that stood out to us after we were able to repair I think it was something like 300 meters that weren't working, and now and then metering the beach and having a really clear picture of what the way the water department's running now. One of the things was we were charging residents that had multifamily and the condos association and the apartments $50 a meter for if it was only 1 meter for the whole building. What that did was it also put them into the high tier water rates because there was no actual water included with that. So after we took a look at it and the professionals took a look at it, and I know it's on for first reading, and I asked Bob Allison to be here for the next meeting, but I just wanted to get out there that what we decided to do to try to make it fair and to readjust where we need to readjust is anybody that has multifamily units with 1 meter or any of the apartments or the condos, we're going to treat them just like everybody else. We're going to raise it $37, but including in that $37, they will be getting 5,000 gallons of water. So if you take somebody like Marina View Towers that has about basically 100 units in it, they were being charged, every resident was being charged $50, but there was no water included. So after their meter went 5,000 gallons, then they were paying, and it went all the way to the top rate. So after we took a look at it, it was about probably 450 to 500 residents that would be affected. So by doing that, like Marina View Towers now, before they get charged for any kind of water, would be almost 500,000 gallons of water before they would start to get charged. So it makes it fair for everybody. Plus those individuals and somebody that has a back house would pay the $87 for each unit, but then they would get 10,000 gallons of water included. So taking a look at that, all those people that are involved that way, it should be a significant savings for all them. And it makes it fair for everybody in town. So that's what's on for first reading. Anybody has any questions on that, Bob Allison will be here for the next meeting for the second reading on it when we have a lot of public questions about it. But after putting everything together and getting all the meters that were not working now, we think that was the right thing to do. So there should be a reduction. And then the other thing in this ordinance is we're removing the top tier because we don't need it anymore. I don't think we need that section of it anymore because of all these high water usages. We're all in the condos and apartments, and they ended up paying water at the high tier. So we're removing that, and we still think that we'll be in good shape with water rates for the future. So if anybody has any questions on that. I know I ran over it real quick.
Yeah, there was, I think we received some letters from some condo associations about this, and I guess, are they satisfied with this arrangement?
Yes, yeah, we told them what we were going to do and how we were going to adjust it, because when we really took a look at it, it really ended up not being fair that they were paying the 50 plus paying the higher usage fees.
Yeah, I think it was an unintended consequence, right? I mean, it's not like we were thinking we wanted to whack them, right? But wanted to make sure that they're now satisfied with the arrangement, and we're not going to hear from them again when this rolls out. Yeah,
I don't think so. I think they're satisfied with it, and it'll put them in line with whatever what everybody else in town is doing. Like, I think we got about 1,500 residents that never go above the minimum, so they only saw an $11 increase, and this will work out. Probably they won't see anything more. They won't go over the minimums either. Anyone else? All right.
I know with the new system and having it become more equitable for everybody in town, with the water and sewer, the solvency of that department has been restored, where it was in financially very, very poor shape up until recently. Is there an update on the painting of a water tank, and is the water utility in a position now where, if it's determined by that we can't bond for the money to paint the water tower because that was done in an earlier bond and that work not completed, that would we have the money in that utility to paint that tank, or aren't we quite there yet?
We've approved to go out to have the engineers start working up prices for us, and then we're going to go out to bid to get that tank painted. So we're in the process right now of doing that, and the attorneys have still told me not to talk about that bond issue. So, but they are giving us the green light to get going and get that done.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else before we move on? I'm going to call on Chief Scott, because we have a resolution on here about the body mics, and I wanted to talk a little bit. I wanted to talk about we have a couple electronic speed signs in town. So if you could update us on both of those, Chief.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. On November of 2020, last year, a bill was signed into law that all uniform patrol officers for the state of New Jersey will have to be equipped with body-worn cameras effective June 1st of 2021. They also appropriated $58 million as reimbursement funds for all of the towns that have to purchase these body-worn cameras. I believe there was 48% of the state had them in place already. So there's 52% that towns that are in the same process that we are in. Myself and several officers and the CFO and the borough administrator sat through many different I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. The different vendors for the body-worn cameras, and we chose to go with WatchGuard, which is through Motorola Solutions. They were the best fit for our department and what our department needs are, as well as a lot of towns around us use them in the shore communities. So we've applied for the grant. The grant had to be in place and applied for by April 30th. And we put in for the grant. The money that the state is going to reimburse will not be decided on until or around June 1st is what we're being told. So we have to actually purchase them, and then we'll be reimbursed. They're going to figure out a way to separate the money throughout the state for each town, and then they'll allocate that money to the towns for reimbursement purchases. So that's why the resolution is on tonight, so we can move forward. We have about a month to get them in place. Everyone is supposed to be equipped with them by June 1st. Does anyone have any questions on that?
No, but good job getting that done before June 1st, because I know with 52% of the towns.
So I actually have one.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Yeah, so there's $155,000 that we're spending. Is that just to purchase the equipment?
That's to purchase the equipment and the storage. Unfortunately, the camera itself is not the expensive part of it. It's the storage. We have to keep recordings for up to 180 days, and that's just any interaction with the public. If there's anything that goes further, such as an arrest or anything like that, they'll have to be kept even longer. So we went with WatchGuard offers a cloud-based storage, which was the best offer from the different companies that we talked to. The server base was a little bit more expensive, but the cloud base will work well with us, especially during the summertime with the additional employees. We'll be able to, store all that and then be able to get rid of it in a timely manner. And so that's all included. It's a 5-year contract. On the 3rd year, they replace all of the equipment for the latest version, and everything is included in that. All service fee, everything is included in that price.
Okay, thank you very much.
I have a question
Yes.
and a comment. Chief, does this also apply to the specials, the 1s and 2s?
It only applies to sworn officers. Class 1s are technically they're civilians. They don't have office power or anything like that. So it'll be for the Class 2s and the regular officers.
All right, well, let's hope this isn't another unfunded mandate by the state of New Jersey and we get fully reimbursed through this grant. But it's good that our officers will have that technology.
Yes, I think it's a great asset. It's a great tool to have. It's right there, and so everybody can see, actually what is happening. So.
Thank you, Chief.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, thank you. I'm sure everybody has seen that video that's gone around with the woman in the car yelling at the poor officer. And the officer was vindicated thanks to a body cam that he had. So I'm so happy. And it's going to protect our officers and the public. Thank you very much for getting that for our guys.
Thank you. As far as the speed signs, we do have the mobile one that we are moving around town and collecting data. The traffic officers have set up a weekly schedule. We can leave the one sign up for about a week before we have to take it down and charge it. And each week that they're taking it down, they're giving me a printout of the data that is collected. It was on 9th Avenue last week, eastbound, and I believe the percentage was 0.01 for vehicles that were reported speeding. We do have it set at 35 as being in violation, and 85% of the vehicles that traveled eastbound on 9th Avenue were under the 25-mile-an-hour mark. We are in the process of purchasing hopefully 2 more of those. This way we can move them around a lot more than just having the one. And we'll also be utilizing the 2 signs that are on Ocean Avenue right now with the message for the paid parking. They both are equipped with radar, so we'll also be using those as well.
Well, the reason why I asked is because I saw small electronic sign on a pole on 8th Avenue today. Did we purchase them or?
Yes, that's the one. I don't.
Oh, that one there.
Unfortunately, I don't have the schedule in front of me, but that is the sign that we've purchased, and we're in the process of trying to get 2 more of those through a grant.
Is that, does that record? Is that the one that's recording?
Yes.
Yeah, oh, that is the one that's recording. Okay, it's not our big sign that goes out. Okay.
Yep.
All right, very good. Anybody else have anything for our chief?
I just want to compliment the chief on a great job, really great job. Thank you.
Okay, that's all I have for workshop discussion. So does anybody else have anything that's on resolution or ordinance tonight that they want to discuss before we get there?
I just have a question on one of the resolutions. Can I do that now?
Yeah, do it now.
So 112 is for the lease agreement for the Cruise Bay location, but the lease term starts May 1st, and we're approving it on the 4th. And this is a question for our attorney. Are we okay with that?
Yes, we are. We'll probably have to prorate the first 3 or 4 days, but I'm sure that Mr. Kirschenbaum will be talking to the tenant about that.
Okay. Just want to make sure we can approve it.
Yeah, it was a tenant with that. We actually put some for rent signs up in there because we weren't getting anybody through the bid process for it. And actually, we got somebody coming into town, taking a look at it and leasing it at the last minute, so we didn't have to leave it empty this summer. They have it basically, I think, for one summer, and then we'll negotiate further with them in the fall.
Thank you.
Mayor, I have a couple questions on a couple of the resolutions too. I don't know from if it's okay to ask them now or if they should be pulled separately from the agenda. They're just really clarification questions as well.
All right, go ahead.
So I see in the intra-county mutual aid and assistance agreement with participating units in Monmouth County, that part of that agreement allows for reimbursements for actual costs. And I was just wondering, when our department is called to mutual aid in another municipality, if that's standard practice and if the borough has a mechanism to bill. I just don't know the answer to that. And I know Ryan's not on the call here today, but I saw that and I was just curious.
Yeah, Ed, you want to take that? But we do have mutual aid with all the towns, surrounding towns, but we want to just take that one.
This is a standard one that we do every year. We do have mutual aid agreements. This is with the county if we need any of their equipment. It's a standard mutual agreement that we do every year. We do have, through the Office of Emergency Management, ways to bill if we do use equipment from other jurisdictions, but it's a normal course of action.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to, see, we were called out and, our equipment was being used, if that was a standard practice and if we had an internal mechanism to do that. And my last question was on Resolution 110, starts out saying that the agreement for the summer entertainment is for the Heisman gazebo, but then later in the resolution it talks about it being at the Taylor Pavilion. So I just wasn't sure what exactly the location was. I'm assuming it's the Taylor Pavilion, but maybe they go to the Heisman gazebo if it's like the weather's permitting and they can do it outside. I just wasn't sure, but two different places were.
I can clear it up a little bit. It's two different locations. Only we're watching what the governor opens up. So right now we're allowing them to play in the gazebo, but if the governor keeps opening things up and they can move back to the Taylor Pavilion, we'll allow them to do that.
Great. And my last comment is I'm glad we have the resolution opposing the rate increases, number 111.
Yes, thank you, Councilman Brennan, for that.
Thank you, Ms. Claudia.
Okay. Anybody else have anything else before we move on any of the items that we have on tonight? All right. Proclamation that I don't have in front of it. It's Borough Clerk's Week. And Pat, do you have that one? Do you want to read that one?
If you'd like.
Yes. because I don't have it in front of me, so if you could do that, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. This is the 52nd Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week. Whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas the Office of Professional Municipal Clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies and agencies of government at other levels, and whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be very mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions in local government and community. Whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk. Now, therefore, you, Mark Walsifer, Mayor of the Borough of Belmar, do recognize the week of May 2nd through May 8th, 2021 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our professional municipal clerk, April Claudio, and to all professional municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and we do appreciate April every single day.
Absolutely.
She does an excellent job for us, and this is her week, so thank you, April.
We love her background for the meeting.
Okay, petitions. I guess we have a petition opposing the Mediterranean project, right?
Yes, I received the petition from Gerald Blackfusco opposing the Mediterranean redevelopment project, and it was partially an online petition and handwritten signatures totaling 611 signatures.
Is that 611 Belmar resident signatures?
No, just total signatures.
Do we know how many of those are Belmar residents?
Not yet, we're still verifying that.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the April 20th meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, Councilman Juan,
Yes.
Councilman McCracken,
Yes.
Councilman Brennan,
Abstain.
Councilman Carvelli,
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer.
Yes. All right, reports of council, Councilman Carvelli.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't really have anything to report this week. Just another hat tip to April for Clerks Week. And thank you for all you do. So that's my report. Thank you.
Councilman McCracken.
April, you are an asset to this town. You are responsive to our citizens and easy to work with as a council member. So, I think that the proclamation that the mayor presented tonight is certainly appropriate and recognizes what a good steward you are for Belmar. So it's been a pleasure to get to know you, and congratulations on this special week. The Belmar Housing Authority met last evening, and a couple updates. Currently, the roof is being repaired and replaced and should be finished soon in the next week or so. Verizon is updating all the cables and the control panels for all the units in the building, every single apartment, at no cost to the Belmar Housing Authority residents. And all the residents will have, if they choose to use Verizon, access to the most up-to-date FiOS technology. So they're excited about that. In addition, broadband is also being installed throughout the building on every floor. So all residents will have free access to Wi-Fi. This is separate from Verizon, and residents are obviously very pleased about that as well. All the units are full. The parking lot will be resurfaced. That work will begin after the roof is finished, and it's scheduled to be completed by June 1st. There are some additional spots being added, so that will look nice and create a safer environment for residents as well. And all the floors in the building are being stripped, the cracks fixed and waxed. So that's another safety issue, to have those floors done and looking nice. So we had a good meeting yesterday at the Housing Authority. It was a busy week this week for the Shade Tree Commission. It was Arbor Day. An event was planned at the Belmar Public Library. Mr. Savy was there and posted a video on Facebook. It's one of my favorite events of the year because it includes students from Belmar Elementary School and St. Rose. They came over, they received a presentation about Arbor Day, the meaning of Arbor Day, and how important trees are to our environment and quality of life. Then the students had the opportunity to plant trees in one of the 3 planters that was built by John McGuire and his crew at DPW. These planters were done in conjunction with DPW and the Belmar Library, and give us an opportunity to plant small trees and have them grow until they're mature enough to plant in other areas of the town. So it was a really nice recognition of Arbor Day and a really great partnership between the library and DPW and the Shade Tree Commission, and an opportunity to engage students from elementary school students from our schools here in town. That was on Friday. The following day, the Shade Tree Commission volunteers were up at the corner of 10th and Main. Taylor Hardware agreed to allow the Shade Tree Commission to set up a table there. 50 trees were available to be given free of charge to Belmar residents. The Shade Tree Commission was there from 10 to 11. Many residents stopped by, those who had already reserved their trees and others who just heard through social media or whatever avenue that the trees were being given away. It was a nice opportunity to be able to talk to residents and hand those trees out. And of the 50 trees we had available to hand out, I believe about 45 or so were handed out that day, and the other ones will be taken back to the library and planted so they can grow there and till they're mature enough to plant around town. So busy week for the Shade Tree Commission, but really nice and rewarding week as well.
Thank you. Councilman Brennan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a couple of things. This weekend is Mother's Day, so be ready. And I'm really happy to announce that the Belmar Volunteer Hook and Ladder Fire Company, right down 11th Avenue, right down the street from me, is having its first annual Mother's Day fundraiser rose sale Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and then Sunday, for you last minute people, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. A dozen roses is $15, 2 dozen is $25. Mix and match and cash only. Don't bring your credit card. Bring your dollars. It's great. And look for Ladder 90 and the crew outside the firehouse. They handed out these flyers up and down on 11th Avenue. I really appreciate that. That helped a lot. And I used it to write my note. I got an email this afternoon from DJs. They actually retweeted a tweet from Governor Philip Murphy. Sign up for the May 12th, that's next Wednesday night, vaccination clinic at legendary DJs in Belmar. It's operated in partnership with Ocean Health Initiatives for a free summer 2021 DJs VIP card. So that means you have to be 21 or over to get the card, but not to get the shot. They recommend pre-registration. I'll give you the URL, but it's kind of a mouthful. And I checked with them; they won't turn anybody away. If you just want to walk up, you can get a shot for sure. The URL is my.ohi.org/DJs, no apostrophe and no caps. You're probably better off if you follow them on Facebook or if you go to their website, they'll have it right there and you can just click on the link and do the registration if you want. It's excellent. I'm really happy to see this. This kind of dovetails with the governor's shot in a beer thing that he's doing with the brewers. I mean, look, I have to apologize for missing the last meeting, but it's great to be vaccinated, and it was a chance for me and my wife to go see our oldest son and this girl down in North Carolina. We haven't seen him in months and months and months, and it was just wonderful to have a chance to go and visit. And I would have tried to zoom in, but you know how it is when they're all like, we're going to eat dinner. Okay. Because I missed the last meeting, I didn't get a chance to give a report on the Harbor Commission's meeting in April. This was in the April 13th meeting. And one thing I really wanted to point out is that our capacity at the marina, we're almost full. I've been on the Harbor Commission for 7 years, and this is the highest the capacity rate has been in the entire time. All that time we spent with the construction and the dredging and the building and all the mess is really paying off. And I got to tell you, the DPW that works over at the marina, Jay and Jamie, they do a fantastic job. We have new awnings. We've taken, one of the things about the marina money, it isn't like the beach money where we're limited with what we can do with it. The marina, the income, those revenues go straight into our operating budget, the municipal budget, and we're able to use part of it to upgrade the marina. The awnings needed to be replaced. Now there's Wi-Fi. The jet ski docks, we added a new set of jet ski docks, and they're all full, and there's waiting lists. The kayaks, full, with a huge waiting list of over 100 people. Docks A to H, we have 3 slips available. That's it. The north side of the marina, K to L, down by the bridge, we have 12 slips available. And wow, we have a couple of commercial slips available, but the idea is we've never seen this kind of capacity. And it's a tribute to the efforts that our employees, Belmar employees, do to make the marina accessible and make it pleasant for the slip owners. We have parking for slip owners now. It's just really, I'm very proud to say that we're doing as well as we're doing. It's really, it's a payoff when you're doing something as long-term as that, and you have to really wait to see the payoff. You have to keep reminding yourself that it's worth it, and it is. And that's my report, and may the 4th be with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Council President Juan?
Thank you, Mayor. Last week we had an ADA meeting, and Louis Polito from the library came and did a presentation, and it was really most impressive. All the services that we have for the visually impaired, it's incredible. I'm actually going to ask him to come and speak at one of our meetings. Those people who unfortunately have macular degeneration and any other visual problems. I was really amazed, even dyslexia came into this. And all these instruments are free through the library. So you can look online now, but Louis would like to come to a meeting and explain everything he has for us and for residents. We continue updating our town services for the welcome package for new residents, new homeowners. We're continue to work on that. And also the Circle of Friends is going to hold dances at Piano Plaza this summer. I'll get back to you with the dates. It'll be 3 dances. They're also in June, I'll get back to you with the date on that, are going to have a walk. I believe it's from Taylor Pavilion down to DJ's. I'll get back to you with the dates on that. And I guess that's the only meeting I've had since our last meeting. And again, April, thank you so much for everything you do for us. And you always do it with a smile. You're so pleasant. it's a pleasure to work with you. Thank you for everything that you do. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just have a couple things. Reminding everybody that the 15th and 16th of May is the town-wide yard sales. If everybody could remember that and start signing up for that. I think it's good that we can have that this year. I'm sure people have they did a lot of cleaning during COVID, so they probably have a lot of things to put out. But it's the 15th and 16th this year, and then we have another one in September. But if you could start signing up for that, this way John could get all that information out on our social media. One thing that April is working on for us is we want to get the farmers market back in place. So April's working on getting farmers and everybody that's associated with doing a farmers market. And we're probably going to do it a Wednesday night, like 4 to 8, instead of a Saturday morning, and then really, publicize it for the town. So I think it'll be good to generate some business for our generate some of the public coming in for our businesses, and plus, having a farmers market. So April and the team are working on that, and hopefully we can get that together starting in June. I think April tells me that we have about 10 vendors that are interested. Some of our businesses in town, if they're interested in joining that, we'll let them do it free of charge. So that's one thing that we're working on. And the other thing that I want to bring up is we're currently taking prices on a movie screen so we can get the movies back on the beach this year. And I think that's all I have. All right, so we'll move on to public session on any of the resolution items.
If anyone from the public would like to comment on a resolution that's on the agenda, please click the raise hand button or dial *9 if you're here by phone. Please remember to state your name and address before speaking.
Thank you, April. And Mr. Eugene, coming to you. Over.
Eugene Creamer, 4th Avenue.
Hi, Mr. Kramer. How you doing?
Okay, how's everybody?
Good.
I'd like, let's see, resolution number 2021-111. Resolution opposing New Jersey natural gas rate increase. Right at the beginning of this, I want to mention that my New Jersey natural gas bill is less than 1/2 my cable bill. New Jersey Natural Gas has been Belmar's most reliable utility. Here at my house, I have a constant pilot on the heating boiler, the water heater, and the stovetop. And the only time that I've lost pilot was when I had to shut the appliance down and do service. I don't think it's really the town's place to alienate New Jersey Natural Gas by challenging their rate case. Actually, New Jersey Natural Gas can help Belmar out quite a bit. 3% of gas and electric rates are societal benefit charges. And the money from those charges is used to clean up and remediate former gas manufacturing plants. There are about 50 former gas manufacturing plants in New Jersey, and one is located in Belmar at 16th Avenue and Railroad. And that's the property that's owned by the borough. I think that New Jersey Natural Gas, in as much as they sold us the property, would be very much instrumental in finally getting and taking care of that sleeping dog. You probably remember we had a developer come in here and started talking about perhaps even relocating Borough Hall over to that property. I don't think that developer had anything, any idea of what would be involved in cleaning up that property in order to have full use of the property. And I think if anything, Belmar should actually snuggle up to not just the New Jersey Natural Gas, but also to Jersey Central Power and Light Company. That's my recommendation, and actually I oppose this, this sort of thing being done by a municipality. In fact, especially by a public utility that that can help us out quite a bit. I don't know the scope of the work over there at the former gas manufacturing plant. I don't know how many millions of dollars it's going to take to clean it up, to give us a better use of the property. But I don't think the way to start or to continue a relationship with the municipality in this way. There's going to be a full-blown rate case on this, and this will take months at the Board of Public Utilities. And believe me, the public's going to be well represented there. But I think, quite truthfully, I think this resolution is just going to get thrown in the complaint pile. And actually, our natural gas rates are at historic lows. I like to stay nice and comfortable in my house in the wintertime. And I just think that this is unfair.
Okay, thank you for your comment.
Thank you. One moment. Coming to Katrina.
Hi, good evening. Katrina Klapsis, 1304 B Street.
Hi, Katrina.
How is everybody tonight? It's a beautiful night. Glad to see you all. April, God bless, you are a saint, putting up with all of us. My question is about the Tailored Pavilion space, the cruise base space. Are we allowed to know who is renting that space and what they're going to put in there, what their ideas are?
They did give us a list of what they're going to have. It said, I could tell you it's Jimmy's Pizza. The owner of Jimmy's Pizza is going in there. But he's going to have a different type of menu. I know he's bringing his seafood calzone there. And I don't think it's going to be heavy on pizzas, but I think like beach fare food.
Oh, okay. Now, is he going to still have his pizza shop across on 8th? Or at
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, great. This is a thing about the natural gas, but it's not actually, it's a question about it. And it might not relate to this resolution at all. So if not, please forgive me and just tell me so. Does anybody know, is it normal? I got a call that the natural gas company is changing meters, that they're by the state law, they have to change meters and that they have to change my meter. I'm just throwing this out. Does anybody know anything about that? And if you can't talk to me on this at this point, it's fine. I mean, I understand.
We can check into it, but first I'm hearing of it.
Okay. All right. So maybe what I could do is call Ed and ask Ed, Mr. Kirschenbaum there, to see if he's heard anything about it either. If it's like the normal practice, if it's something I should be concerned about, or if it's just normal practice. Okay. Thank you. Probably not the right time anyway, but thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katrina. No more hands?
Can I have a motion to close the public session?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, can I have a motion to approve the resolutions as listed on the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second. There you go.
Councilman Juan?
Yes.
Councilman McCracken?
Yes.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilman Carvelli?
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer?
Yes.
Next, we have first reading and introduction. This is an ordinance amending Chapter 29, Section 7 regarding water and sewer rates and service charges. Do we have a motion to offer for first reading and introduction?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, Councilman Juan?
Yes.
Councilman McCracken?
Yes.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilman Carvelli?
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer?
Yes.
Next is ordinance 2021-9. This is an ordinance amending Chapter 18, Section 2.7 regarding rules and regulations for smoking on the beach. Do we have a motion to offer for first reading and introduction?
Motion.
1 second.
Okay, Councilman Juan? Councilman
Yes.
McCracken?
Yes.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilman Carvelli?
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer?
Yes.
And last is ordinance 2021-10, an ordinance amending Chapter 16, Section 14 for regulation of conduct in parks and recreation areas. Do we have a motion to offer for first reading and introduction?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, Councilwoman Juan?
Yes.
Councilman McCracken?
Yes.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilman Carvelli?
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer?
Yes. Okay, on to public session. Same as before, state your name and address.
Okay. Yoga, did you have a question? I saw you before. You just missed the time.
Actually, John,
Raise
if I
your
could go
hand.
first real quick.
I'm sorry?
If I could go first real quick. I did receive an email question from Anita Pecorelli of First Avenue. Her statement was, with the staff being vaccinated and the public being vaccinated and New Jersey being lowered into the yellow with our cases going down, when can we look forward to the library being open to the public?
Is this administrator?
Yes, everybody should be aware of the governor's changes to some of the orders yesterday. So we're working with that. I've had communication with the library today. The professional staff is going to be meeting, had a town hall meeting with the libraries this Thursday, May 6th, and pursue moving into phase 4 when feasible. So I'm waiting for Roe from the library to call me after that meeting on Thursday, and we'll make a decision.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will now go to the list. Linda, I see you.
Good evening, everyone. In April, you do a fine job. Thank you so much. My question tonight is, could you give us...
Linda, I know who it is, but can you just state your name and address, please?
Sure. Linda Sharkus, 4th Avenue.
Thank you.
Okay. So it was interesting getting an update on the pickleball courts and the tennis courts and the lessons that are supposed to go along with those two courts.
We're waiting any day. We have it all set to be painted, but the contractor is telling us he needs at least 45 degrees of temperature at night, because I was hoping they'd be done already. But everything is in place, and we're just waiting for him. He said as soon as the weather is at 45 degrees at night, he's going to have it done for us. So I'm like you. I was hoping it was going to be done a couple months ago, but not yet.
Okay, one more question. So how are you going to manage lessons for those two sets of courts for adults?
Yeah, recreation setting that all up, and I don't have Barry on with me tonight, but if you contact him, he'll be able to explain how he's setting everything up for that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Megan, coming to you.
Are you able to hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, my name's Megan Hecker. I live on Fifth Avenue. I'm sure everyone's very well aware of the issue that we're having with parking on Fifth Ave. So this weekend, I sent emails to several council members, and I did receive several responses back. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time and consideration with this matter. I did also send 2 emails to Mr. Kirschenbaum specifically because I was told he would be the best person to reach out to. I have not received any emails back, and I'm just really curious what can be done to help the residents that live on Fifth Ave, that have a parking lot that does not accommodate all of the residents who are forced to park on Fifth Ave and now would have to pay to park on Fifth Ave and live in my apartment.
Yeah, we're working on the issue with anybody that has the hardship. I'll let our business administrator explain what's going on. Right now, there's no enforcement down there until we get this in place to go through everybody that wrote to us about the hardships. So, Business Administrator Kirschenbaum, if we could take that.
Thank you, Mayor. Hi, Megan. I was off on Friday and yesterday, so I was waiting to get back to everybody. We've received emails and information of people with hardships, just like it is at that complex on Fifth Avenue where there's, I believe, 30 residents with only 27 or 28 spots. So we have all the paperwork we're working through with Park Mobile. It's area specific on 5th and 6th Avenue as well as North Boulevard. And we're going to be reaching out to everybody. I have a list here. I worked with April on it today. And we're going to hopefully get information from each and every one of you and get on what's called a white list with Park Mobile, where we can make sure that you don't pay for parking in that area. So we're on top of our game here with this, and we'll be reaching out within the next couple of days.
Okay, so you feel within the next couple of days we'll have some idea of what the next step is?
That's correct. And of course, like the mayor said, there's no enforcement at the lake or North Boulevard at this time because we want to make sure we get this right.
Thank you. I appreciate everyone's time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Coming to Gina in a moment.
Hi, how are you? Gina Colucci, 206 Fifth Avenue.
Hi, Gina.
Hi, how are you? I guess, similar to the last caller, I do have concerns about the parking, and I'm happy to hear that you're going to be getting back to us soon. Part of the question that I have is the 10 p.m., 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. I'm having a hard time with that. Is there anything we can do about adjusting that time?
You have to unmute me. I'm sorry, I had to mute you before. Unmute. Thank you.
The reason why I went to 10 o'clock is because, as you know, we have these pop-up car shows coming to town. We could change times with this Park Mobile wherever we want, but because of these pop-up car shows arriving at all different days and times, and we wanted to put a mountain of officers down there to write parking tickets and to make sure that it's sort of a deterrent that we don't like them coming here. The reason why they don't go to Asbury Park is because they have to pay to park. So we're putting it till 10 o'clock right now, and we're going to evaluate it. But one of the reasons was for that, to see if we can combat it through parking enforcement. Because most of them like to park, and then the rest of them cheer everybody on for racing up and down the street. So
We haven't, up until now, I personally haven't noticed any of them parking on Fifth Avenue. They do fly down the street, and it's probably noisier than it is louder, so it appears that they're going fast. I haven't really seen them parking on Fifth Avenue. I feel like they
well,
park
now that we have parking, paid parking on Ocean Avenue, you'll see them.
Okay. Well, how do we talk about the $2 an hour versus the $1 an hour on Ocean Avenue?
Because all the paid parking on Ocean Avenue was set by the judge, and that all that money has to be in the beach utility.
Okay.
All other parts of town is $2.
Okay, and so where will that money go?
Well, we want to use it for some beautifications. If you look at the sidewalk along Fifth Avenue, we want to get that replaced because it's all cracked. You know, we definitely want to use that money for different kind of beautification projects.
Okay, so will we be notified as to what that money is being used for, or that's...
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I guess just we'll wait to hear back from Mr. Kirchenbaum this week, I'm hoping?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you all so much. Have a great evening.
You too.
Thank you very much. Coming to Tom, stand by.
Hi guys, I'm sure you're aware of the pop-up car rally.
Hey Tom, could you just give your name and address? We know who you are, but we got to put up.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Tom Volker, 527 8th Avenue, Belmar.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The noise is horrendous. It really is. The other thing is they're definitely going the wrong way on the one-way streets. They're going through stop signs. Somebody's going to get hurt, and it's a shame. I heard that 35 tickets were issued, which is a good thing, but it seems so little compared to how many cars were here. And what else can we do, Mayor?
Well, we're trying with the that we're going to really try hard with parking enforcement, and we're, you know, we've been working with the chief of police and the police department and other towns, because it's not only affecting us, it's affecting Wall Township when they ride through their town to get in and out of Belmar, and there's other things that the chief's trying to work on. The problem is that, you know, you can't set up roadblocks and everything because we never know when they're coming until when they're here. It used to be they used to put it out on their website where they were going, and they got wise to all the towns monitoring their website. So now they have codes that they use, and we're still trying to figure out their code system through Twitter and different avenues, what they do. The other problem is it seems to be that there's no like one person organizing this. One of them will say, hey, you know, let's go to here, and they all sign up to go. So you can't even go after the organizer of it. So, but you know, we're trying to come up with all different ideas to try to deter them from coming here.
Thanks. Is there any truth to, I heard this, that the only way you can give a ticket for noise is you've got to assess which car is the loudest and give that one car a ticket, but nobody else gets a ticket? Does that make any sense, Chief?
No, Mr. Vaughn, that is not true. If the vehicle has a loud muffler and it's creating noise, it can be issued a summons for the loud muffler itself. That's a violation.
Mm-hmm. And is that what, when these cars go in overdrive and they've activated that noise, is that a part of a bad muffler, or is it actually something they have installed to do that?
It could be something that they have installed. You know, there are things that create that noise, but you know, we're out there writing everything that we can. You know, we're not just picking and choosing which ones we write. So that is far from the truth.
Is that illegal? If it is a device that will do this, is that a legal device as far as the DMV is concerned?
Yes.
It is a legal device?
Yes, but it's still just a vehicle equipment violation.
Okay. All right, well, thanks for your time, guys.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, sir. And on my list, Mr. Fusco, stand by.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, Gerald Bucafusco, 409 Fifth Avenue. First, I'd like to thank April, being Municipal Clerk's Week. She does a very great job, very professional, and she's a real credit to the Borough of Belmar. I would like to make a comment on the petition that was filed earlier. I started this petition about a month ago because I felt the residents of Belmar needed a way to voice their opinions on the Mediterranean project, which was presented to the council on March 16th. And just like the developer, Russo Development LLC, was given the opportunity to present its proposals to the council, the residents and taxpayers should also be given an opportunity to present their opinions, and not right before a vote is to be taken on a project, but well before a vote is even considered. Unfortunately, as we have seen in the past, that does not happen. Thus, the need for a petition. I decided to submit this petition this evening because the mayor, council, and administration need to know how people feel before considering any further development plans for this site. Residents tell me they want to hear from council members. They want to know that the council supports their concerns. If 611 signatures are not enough to convince the council, then we will continue to collect signatures throughout the summer if necessary. To answer one of the questions today in my letter that I forwarded, just so you know, of the 611, according to my double check through the voting records, I noted in my letter that 447 were from residents of Belmar, 119 from nearby towns and other residents of New Jersey, and 45 from out of state. So that's the breakdown so far. And I also like to take the opportunity to thank the many people that helped me collecting these signatures online and also in person. But I want you to know that this is not a movement against redevelopment. I am not against redevelopment. Redevelopment is necessary and good when done properly. This is a movement to persuade you, mayor, council, and administration officials that they must insist that all redevelopers abide by our master plan, the Seaport redevelopment plan, and all applicable zoning ordinances before presenting matters to the public. I hope each council member will recognize what is at stake for them and the future of Belmar. Thank you.
Thank you. One moment. Yoga, coming to you.
Hi, my name is Carmel. I was the owner of the first yoga studio in Belmar. I opened it in 2003. I've been coming to Belmar all my life, and I finally was able to purchase a home in 2005 at 1244 Maplewood Road, which is a good ways from the beach. And the beach I go to is the North Boulevard Beach. And I was just shocked that there were these park apps now. I go to the beach a lot. I'm 66 years old. I have a chair. I have an umbrella. And that, of course, anyone visiting would not park there first. So it's going to be pretty impossible for someone like myself to enjoy the beaches, which is why I live here. It's very emotional for me that that you would take this away from us. And I that you're going to try to give us some type of freedom here with this app. That if we live in Belmar, we should not have to pay $2 an hour to go to the beach, because I live here to go to the beach at this point in my life. I teach yoga still, but certainly don't make enough money in a week to pay for me to go to the beach. And I sometimes can't even go there on Saturdays and Sundays without that park app. So I just ask for your consideration. I would really appreciate that. I've written to some of the members and have heard nothing back yet, but you know, I love Belmar. That's why I live here. I've been coming here since I was a little girl, and I love going to the beach. And you know, I can't walk from here. I don't feel safe riding my bike anymore. So I just thank you. I just wanted to be heard. Thank you very much. I'd love to hear what you think. Anybody? Can anybody address what I just...
Well, I'll talk a little bit about it. I mean, we are free on the west side of Ocean Avenue. We made sure we didn't put any paid parking in front of anybody's house. We feel that it's not an inconvenience for the residents, but on the extra added spaces that we did, because we were very close. That's the reason why it's not on the west side of Ocean Avenue, to make sure the residents have ample free parking.
But that's not
true. Very careful. We took a look at it. So you could come down to the beach and it's free on the west side of Ocean Avenue. It's
yeah, but don't you understand that everybody is going to go park there first, even from outside of Belmar? Belmar residents like myself who live on Maplewood Road, very far away from the beach. Sure, if I lived in one of those houses, who would care? But people who do live in those houses, which more power to them, they have people who come, they pull their car out of their driveway, park in front of their house. Their friends get to park in their driveways. People like me do not have an opportunity to park. And I'm asking, I mean, is there nothing that a resident can do to be serviced here? That's why it's not enough to say, oh, well, there's no house there. Well, I can't afford a house on that area of Belmar. I would love to, but I can't. I live over a mile away from the beach. A Belmar resident should be, like, even in other towns like Point Pleasant, where they get tons of people, they get resident parking. We should have.
That's because they have everything east of 35 highways paid parking. So they have to give resident parking.
That's not how I don't see any, no, that's not true, Mayor, I'm sorry.
It is true.
Because I
Everything
go to
east of
Point
35
Pleasant a lot.
is, well, you haven't been there this year because they put paid parking all the way to 35 highway.
Well, I go there and walk a lot, but nevertheless, I think you should care a little bit about people who don't live in the big houses on, east of Main Street, because it's a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maria. Maria?
Hi, this is Maria Rondinaro, 1246 Pine Tree Way. How are you?
Hi, Maria.
Hi, thank you again, April. I working with you is always a pleasure. Thank you for all that you do for all of us. I'm one of the many Belmar residents who signed the petition against the Mediterranean project. I think we need to protect the Seaport redevelopment plan and the guidelines no matter what's built there. It needs to comply for many reasons, but specifically this project has insufficient parking. It's a strain on our already old sewer and infrastructure, and it would make traffic a nightmare. One of the questions that I have for you today is the way that it stands right now with the proposal that we saw at the council meeting, with the underground parking already in a flood zone, could that potentially increase our flood insurance?
No.
And why is that?
Because it's not in the flood zone. It's paid parking. Plus, our engineers and I really don't want to get into it because as it came back to the council yet, our engineers and our planners are working with the developer to make sure that he has enough parking, make sure it fits within the Seaport redevelopment redevelopment. Just because a landowner comes and presents it to us, just like this petition, it's going to go over to our planner engineer to look at the concerns, and they will come back to us and let us know what progress they made. So a property owner has the right to come in and present a project to us. It goes to our planner and engineer. I'm not going to sit down with it and see if it meets our Seaport redevelopment criteria or not. That's what we have planners and engineers for. So that's the process it's in right now. They're working with the developer to make sure there's enough parking, making sure that the town, it will be well covered. That's what our planner and engineer do.
Great. So you're guaranteeing that the Seaport redevelopment guidelines will be met the way that they are? We will not be going back to...
I am guaranteeing that we will listen to our planner and engineer.
Okay. I know that the Environmental Commission, the Harbor Commission, that so many have worked very hard for us to get a better insurance rating. It'd be foolish for us to entertain any project that puts residents at risk of losing that. And so I just hope that...
that won't happen.
Okay. As we open up more, I'd like to request that we continue using Zoom as a platform in addition to whatever, if we return to the courtroom, for more accessibility for the residents to participate.
Okay, we'll take that under consideration.
Is that not something that has already been spoken about?
Well, we're seeing what the governor does because, you know, I would like to get back to in-person meetings.
Well, me too. And as you remember, I'm always at them as much as possible. But today, so far, we have 71 attendees. And that's more than we had in the courtroom. I mean, I remember when we were, you know, the room wasn't so filled. So I love the idea that people who have different work schedules, people who are home with their kids like me, are able to still participate. As residents who aren't, you know, maybe needing childcare in order to, you know, or not able to access transportation to get to the meeting. So please do keep that under consideration. And then the very last thing that I have is, you know, I'm hearing so many residents worried and upset about the additional paid parking around Silver Lake and Lake Como. And I heard that it sounds like there might be a white list for Park Mobile, that's what you're working for people who live by those areas? Is that what it sounds like? Is that what
Yes.
you said? Okay. I'd like to propose that all residents also be able to get an option on a white list, especially when it comes to parking after 6 p.m., as that will be harmful for us. Mostly since we do access the beach area. I, like Carmel, am on the side of Belmar where it's not walkable to access the beach. So, thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Kramer, back to you.
Eugene Creamer, 4th Avenue.
Hi, Mr. Kramer.
Hi. I see John from DPW is there. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Yeah, John, I'm just curious as to, is the water level in Silver Lake adjusted? In other words,
John, you can come off of mute.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, yes, the water level is adjustable.
Yeah, okay, I'm just curious as to how often that has to be done. Is it done like in anticipation of a big rainfall or something?
That is correct, sir. What we will do is, if there's a forecast of a few inches of rain, we will open up the gates to lower the level of the lakes in anticipation of usually for every inch or two of rain, you're going to have maybe sometimes up to a foot of water in Silver Lake. So we will lower it a few inches just to make sure that it can handle any excess rain.
Yeah, okay, very good. Thank you very much. I was just wondering why the level in the lake appears to be different, on occasion. I have one other comment, Mayor. You mentioned about sharing parking meter revenue with the beach utility. You may want to have the borough attorney take a look at that. It was, well, for two reasons. Number one, there's no longer a public advocate in the state of New Jersey. And number two, if you read the decision and the opinions, you'll see, and it's called I believe the public advocate's name was Slocum. You'll see that the reason the borough had to share the parking receipts with the beach utility was because it was targeted at the beachgoer. And the public advocate at that time said that the reason that condition was put in place was because there was no other place in town that charged for parking. And that is no longer the case nowadays.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that. Last I remember what the judge ruling was, when it was put to $2, it had to be put back to $1, and it could only be increased if the need for beach revenue had to be raised. So we'll take a note. I'll have the borough attorney take a look at that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Mr. Kramer.
Thank you. And seeing no more hands?
April?
Can I have a motion to close the public session and adjourn the meeting?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, April.
Thank you.
Thank you, April. Good night, everyone. Thank you for watching, everybody.